guys, welcome to the program. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Charlie Kirk did something that was kind of interesting, and in the past I've called out when men overreact to something in the wrong way, how it can work against you, and it actually makes you look weak and effeminate and easily bothered. The case I used was Fresh and Fit at the time being kind of called out by Abba and Preach. And it doesn't matter what you feel about either group of guys. The point is, Abba and Preach kind of went after Fresh and Fit, and Fresh definitely, I would say, overreacted. And of course, that caused Abba and Preach to use those clips of him overreacting for the next year, making fun of them. And it definitely bothered Myron Gaines. Charlie Kirk, for as goofy and odd a guy he is, nonetheless has done a very smart thing, which is to lean into him getting called out and lean into people making fun of him, and it's working in his favor, and it definitely has given him the upper edge, and, ironically, it pisses off all the people that don't like him, which is really what you actually want to do. This thumbnail, by the way, I took from Charlie Kirk Know Your Meme. I didn't know this, but when I typed in Charlie Kirk to do a search on him, this was one of the first things that pulled up was Charlie Kirk and his rather odd smile. I think we can all agree he has a very big head and not a very attractive smile. But there's a reason I'm pointing that out that we'll talk about near the end of the video. If you're unfamiliar, he recently was on South Park. And of course, he said, hey, you know something? The fact that I'm on South Park means I've made it. It means I'm official. I'm very proud to be on South Park. He even took the picture of Cartman, who was playing the Charlie Kirk character on South Park. He even took that and made his profile photo over on X. This is the quote-unquote master space debater clip, and of course, Charlie Kirk is now the master debater.
Black people have everything handed to them. I'm sick of people stealing my stick. If anyone around here is going to be a master debater, it's me. So let's go. Who wants to debate the master debater? Let's go. You right there.
That's the stupidest haircut I've ever seen.
You are wrong. Leviticus 3:17 says it shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings. So you can shut up, baby. You just hate American. You love them.
So anyway, that's the joke of it. And of course, I have to bleep one of those words because YouTube. But they were calling him the master space debater. Well, Charlie Kirk reacts to that, and the lesson I'm kind of putting out there is lean into your haters. And there's 3 minutes of leftists absolutely melting down because Charlie Kirk leaned into it. And instead of being upset about it, by leaning into it, he takes the power away from the people that want to use it against him. This is him on Fox News, also showing his reaction.
Well, you're hot now because South Park's mocking you. Watch South Park mock Charlie. Go ahead.
Oh my God, what makes you think you have the right to say what I do with my body?
Let me ask you something. If a pregnant woman is killed and the baby dies too, why is the killer charged with a double homicide?
Well, but because people have different beliefs. And
It's not about belief. It's about truth. Science confirms life begins at conception.
Were you honored?
Not only was I honored, they got the little sip of the water correctly. They got the hairdo. The little details are perfect. And look, South Park, they could be very nasty towards a lot of people. That just goes to show the impact, the cultural power of what we've been able to do at Turning Point USA. It is a great honor. And even more remarkably, that is a word-for-word quote on South Park.
They're watching.
Even though I do believe South Park was trying to mock him a little bit, to what degree, I don't know. I didn't watch the full episode. But when they went after Trump, when they went after Kristi Noem and some of the other people, Trump expressed a little frustration, and he said he didn't like it very much, and South Park used that to go after him again. Charlie played the Uno card and said, hey, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it. You made me look great. This is exactly perfect, and I appreciate it. And that is the right thing for guys to do. I've talked about it multiple times that if you understand how the culture works today, the more you act upset, the more you get angry at your haters, the more that you react. That's what they want from you. They can use that as fuel, and it makes them feel good. But if you take that away and you laugh at them instead and say, gosh, you guys are really great. That's awesome. Thanks so much. Can you keep doing it more? All of a sudden, their joke backfires on them. A matter of fact, even on Charlie Kirk's page, he's selling a master space debater tee, and it's $40 for a t-shirt. It's very expensive. I certainly wouldn't want to pay $40 for a t-shirt, but I'm sure it either funds his pocket or it funds Turning Point USA. And he's leaning into the joke. Well, the reaction from the left and the liberals is pretty much what you'd expect it to be. From Colin Rugg, liberal creators are fuming that conservatives, and specifically Charlie Kirk, are not fuming over South Park making fun of them.
I love that Charlie Kirk is trying so hard to be in on the joke in this South Park episode. I don't think you understand what this is. This is not a friendly roast between friends. They are making fun of you because you are a hack, morally contemptuous loser. It's very much giving like this meme. No.
So who's going to be the one to tell Charlie Kirk that we're laughing at him, not with him? Because for the last day, he's making it seem like he's in on the joke. Charlie, you are the joke.
So Charlie Kirk is so deeply upset by the fact that South Park made fun of him last night in their new episode. But the reality is, they weren't just laughing with him, they were laughing at him.
The South Park is going to be doing an episode about me tonight, slaves. I mean family that I'm totally not keeping at this house against their will. They're having Cartman portray me. He's the best character. He has the best point. No, children, you can't stay up and watch the episode with me.
Watching you set your brain to hyperspin mega drive to try and cope with this fucking absolute annihilation of an episode of you and your entire fucking shtick is on brand.
Charlie Kirk wouldn't know the first thing about humor if it bit him in the ass. They support and worship Donald Trump. They think that when we're laughing with them, when in reality, we're laughing at them.
The irony is Charlie knows they're laughing at him. Charlie knows he's being made fun of. But Charlie's doing the right thing. He's leaning into it. And this is something that I think you guys and myself as well, because I still have things that bother me and things that tend to get me fired up every once in a while. I think this is a really good reminder, a very good message. Now Charlie Kirk's moved on. He's stopped talking about it. You know, he did a couple interviews on Fox, but because he didn't, he immediately reacted. He said he was fine with it and everything was great and he loved it. Well, now Charlie Kirk has moved on with his life and he's doing whatever else he needs to do. But in the meantime, now they're yelling at him. Now they're reacting to Charlie. Now they're getting pissed off or mad or making fun of Charlie because he didn't give them the ammunition that they wanted. And now they kind of look like the stupid butthurt ones because Charlie's not playing along. I think there is a lesson in here for all of us that, hey, you know something? If people are going to come at you, people are going to give you a hard time, people are going to make fun of you, maybe the best way is to lean into it. I remember listening to a speaker at a high school.
All the bullying experts agree on one thing, that bullying is an imbalance of power, that someone's trying to have power over you. They want to see you lose, and they want to win.
And he was talking to the teenagers around him, and he said, okay, I want you to make fun of me, say something awful to me. And the girl said, you're ugly. And he simply turned around and said back to her, you know, actually, you're right. I wish I could get my hair to do something else. What kind of hair products do you use? And the girl said, well, just like shampoo and conditioner, I guess. And he said, but is it expensive? And she started talking about her hair conditioning. And then he said, okay, thanks. And then she realized, oh, I was supposed to be making fun of him or yelling at him, and I completely forgot about that. He did several more where if a guy says, what are you looking at in a bar? He just said, hey, man, I like your shirt. That's really nice. Where do you get something like that? Because I'm trying to improve my style, and you've got a sharp look. And the guy said, well, and then he just started laughing. It makes it really hard to argue with somebody when they're very likable, and they're nice to you, and they're complimenting you. Charlie's kind of doing the same thing by complimenting South Park and saying, hey, you guys did a great job. I appreciate that. Now they're mad at him again for not reacting, and that's exactly the kind of attitude you should have about this thing. And I think partially because of this, and Charlie being a good debater, Charlie getting noticed by South Park, here we have from Liberty Fuel, conservative youth surge, how campus activism is changing political dynamics. And as you know, or at least most of you know, Charlie Kirk's very famous for Turning Point USA, going onto these campuses and debating young people and letting anybody yell at him. And he just calmly takes them on with logic, information, laws, his belief system, even some messages from the Bible. And it makes a lot of people cheer for him because they say, hey, this guy's level-headed. You can't rattle him. He doesn't get angry. He's professional. He's kind, no matter how bad people treat him. And I think that's the winning way, is using that stoicism and that logic and those talking points to reach out to people and not flipping out and being all emotional. I think young people and old people alike respect somebody much more like that. And lastly, I'll leave it here. I mentioned just a second ago, Charlie Kirk is not I wouldn't say he's a great-looking guy, to be sure. He, especially when you take him on his thumbnail, he looks absolutely horrible in this photo. But if you watch him speaking here on Fox News, he's definitely got a big head. There's no lies about it. But he's not a great-looking guy. But this is his wife, and they do have children together. Now, before I go down this road, you know how I feel about marriage.
Smart men don't get married.
Smart guys don't get married. The system needs to change. There's way too much that needs to change to protect men. But the point is, Charlie Kirk's not a great-looking guy, but he's a successful, smart, personable, funny guy. And because of that, he's gotten married. This is his wife. And apparently, and I didn't know this, they have a baby together. She's a very striking woman. And they even say from this, his wife, Erica Fanzeve, met Charlie Kirk in 2018, which is right about the time he started doing a lot of his Turning Point USA stuff. And they started dating with the intention of marrying. According to a post by Erica on Instagram, the pair had their first date. She said they had deep conversation about a variety of topics, including politics, theology, and philosophy. After over a year of dating, Charlie got engaged to her on December 2nd of 2020. They tied the knot on May 8th, 2021. They had a wedding ceremony in Scottsdale, Arizona, and then they had their first kid. So now, I'm not saying that he's necessarily a very smart guy for getting married, because I know how we all feel about it. But the point that he married a former beauty queen and instantly had a family with her, that tells me at least, and he's not an exceptionally good-looking guy, that tells me he got something right. He's got something figured out in life correctly. It doesn't mean you need to agree with his politics. It doesn't mean you need to even like him as a person, but at least I think it's important to accept that he understands how the game works. He plays within it. And the last thing I'll talk about is a little bit of politics, but nothing that is over the top. I just want to point out how the latest feminism rage and all the outrage and all the angriness over young men is they don't understand what they've done to the next generation coming up. This comes from a Robert Sterling. He said the left has no idea the monster they've created with Gen Z men. Absolutely no idea. These guys spent their formative years navigating an unprecedented social experiment. The bug lockdowns, DEI struggle sessions, pronoun microaggressions, land acknowledgments, intersectional justice, and demographics, they simply snapped. They stopped fearing cancellation. They realized black marks on social credit scores don't leave permanent stains, and they started owning rather than futilely trying to defend against the accusations of villainy they had suffered since their young age. It's a wholesale reactionary movement against the political system. More than that, a culture at large, which rightly or wrongly they see as dedicated to their emasculation. A system that, in their view, creates little of value, affords them scant opportunity, celebrates that which is ugly and mediocre, and profanes that which is sacred. From the fires of this crucible, it is emerging the most right-wing generation I've ever seen. And from the unhinged group chats of today are emerging the legislators and congressmen of tomorrow. The left has no idea what they've done, and they can't imagine what the second and third order effects of this will be. That's his response to a post from the Pew Research Center showing some incredible partisan swings from 2023 to 2025. In the course of 2 years, age 18 to 29 men have moved Republican or more conservative by 44 points or 44%. 18 to 29 women have moved more conservative by 14 points. Age 30 to 49 men have moved conservative 15 points. So the younger generations are having enough of all the hate of being made fun of, or told they're weak or they're toxic or everything else. And a good portion of the young women are moving with them because they see that the conservative men are not part of the hive mind. They think for themselves. They're masculine. They're intelligent. They're stoic, or at least more so than the crazies on the left. And to a lot of women, that's attractive. Apparently, to Charlie Kirk's wife, it's very attractive because it's attractive enough to make her find him attractive, even though he has a big egg head and little tiny teeth. So anyway, guys, maybe an important lesson to take away here. Lean into the hate. Lean into the pressures. If people are going to hate you or make fun of you or do anything else that makes your life kind of suck, lean into it. Push back, but don't do it in anger. Push back and laughing along with them, realizing they have no power over you, and that in the long run, while they seethe and cope, you'll be happy and just moving along with your life. Guys, if you like this content, make sure to check me out over at betterbachelor.locals.com. We got a great group of awesome guys over there, huge community. We do many posts on living on your own, building your own home, buying your own land, cooking your own food, great recipes, hunting, all the other great things that go along with being a single guy. So make sure to hop on over there, check out the forums, check out the guys posting. Lots to be talked about, and I think you'd really like it over there. It's $5 a month. It's behind a paywall, and that way if you want to do special events or other things, the internet bots that crawl over the web can't get in and find us and bother us because it's behind a paywall. So come on over and join up today, and we'll see you in the next one.